Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Jesse Cort. And Karen and Chad, Beth and Jason asked me to put a video together because they were getting a group of first responders in the room. And they kind of wanted to get my point of view as a former law enforcement officer about AdvoCare with the products and the business. Um, we've been involved, my wife and I, Liz, for about 3.5 years with AdvoCare. And just to give me a little background on myself as far as law enforcement and where I'm coming from, I worked 5 years in the city PD in Albany, New York. That was mostly inner city work, and then for 6.5 years I was a New York State Trooper. And as I said, about 3.5 years ago, my wife came home and she was all excited about this company called AdvoCare. And at that time in our lives, it was a hustle and bustle. I was working 12-hour shifts, mostly nights, and my wife was just opening up a small business. And on top of that, we had two back-to-back beautiful baby boys at our house. So time was limited, money was limited, and honestly, our health and wellness was kind of going to the wayside. And I'm 6'3", and I was about 270 pounds working as a New York State Trooper. And people would always say, "Hey, man, you look great. You got big arms. What do you do? All these things." And I knew that even though I was lifting heavy weights, my midsection, those love handles and stuff, I was actually embarrassed to take my shirt off, and I was really struggling with some of those wellness needs. And my wife came home and she said, "Hey, you need to do this 24-day challenge." At first, I was a little hesitant, but I said, "You know what? Deep down, I knew I needed change." So that's what I did. I got on the 24-day challenge, and Karen, Chad, they can go into a little more details about that. But it's just a structured program for 24 days through AdvoCare that teaches you how to eat right, teaches you how to fill those nutritional gaps with world-class supplements, and then if you throw a little exercise on top of that, you can have amazing results. And for me, that's what I did. I just said, you know what, I'm going to dedicate myself for 24 days. And after 24 days, I was able to lose 15 pounds, which jump-started me back into my physical wellness goals. And, as first responders, it doesn't matter if you're in communications, EMS, we have crazy schedules. Okay, so it's the 24-day challenge. It's set out as morning, noon, afternoon. So you guys are going to need to adjust to that because I was working 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And so my mornings were my nights and vice versa. So I had to adjust to that. But once I adjusted the time and I set that goal, I was able to lose 15 pounds. And then on top of that, I just jump started into a healthier lifestyle. Because we all know that, working the road, doesn't matter what you're doing. It's after a while, we ended up, you eat at those diners, you stop at that gas station, you have that coffee. And it's just not that one time that really, does it. It's, we're working 5 to 7 days a week. And after a while, it just adds up. Okay. And AdvoCare for me was it answers so many solutions for my nutritional needs. We have awesome shakes and bars, and this was after the 24-day challenge that I continued to do this. And instead of running into that gas station, I would run in, out in my bag, I'd have my bars or my meal replacement shakes. And just with that alone, I was able to lose another 15 pounds and get down to 240 with a low percent body fat. And everyone was kind of asking what I was doing at that point. When my wife started talking about the business in AdvoCare, for the first 6 months, I didn't want to hear anything about it because I was, my mindset was I was a law enforcement officer. I was going to do it for the next 25 years, and that was it. I don't do sales. But, before I knew it, I had people coming up to me asking me about Spark and, meal replacement shakes because they saw the results I was having. And once I gave them the products, they loved the products. And I always wondered why my stomach, I always had stomach issues. And, I look back, I'm drinking low-quality energy drinks, tons of coffee, diner food and gas station food. No wonder I wasn't feeling well. But the business, initially wasn't my thing. I really didn't know anything about it, but I didn't want to be involved in it because I heard some things about direct sales, and as a police officer, you're just very skeptical. And that was until my wife dragged me down to a training. And the only reason I was able to go to this training was because at work I was hit by a drunk driver while on patrol in my patrol vehicle. As a result, my partner and I both had to have surgery. So I was knocked out of work. My wife said, "Hey, just check out this training." And I went there and I said, "You know what? I really don't enjoy working overtime details just to pay for the car being fixed, especially with 2 young boys at home. I just wanted to be home. I loved the job. I loved helping people, but I loved my family more. And I was really struggling with that time freedom. So at that point, I told my wife, I said, you know what? I went to this training. I was out of work. I was injured. I said, you know what? Let's I'm going to help you. I don't know if I'm going to be selling product and sales because that's not my thing, but I'm going to support you. And AdvoCare started off for us as our plan, my wife's plan B. It was like a plan D for me. And the more and more I learned about AdvoCare, I did my own investigations and I talked to numerous other first responders, firemen, EMTs, police officers that were involved in AdvoCare for years, and found that it was a business of integrity and things, values that I had as a person and as a family. I was more and more attracted. And over, this was 3.5 years ago. We continued to work our business, and we just shared it with friends and family, and people just loved the products. People were loving the products, and I became a product of the product, and people were just asking what I was taking, and people love Spark. People love our shakes. So before we know it, we had a business on our hand, and it just continued to grow. And during this time, I was out of work because I was injured from getting hit by a drunk driver. I had to have back surgery and a couple other procedures. And at this point in my life, I started looking and saying, you know what, like I wasn't really being treated that well. I was out in workers' comp, and I was a little frustrated. And my wife and I just continued to build this AdvoCare business to a point where financially it matched my New York State trooper salary. And as a family, I was able to walk away from the state police and retire with 11 years. Something that when we got involved in AdvoCare 3.5 years ago, I never even imagined it would be possible. I mean, it was not even a thought. And I stand before you today as a retired New York State trooper at 35 years old, which is amazing. So just real quick, just to address a couple concerns about AdvoCare, which is, it seems like it always comes up when I talk to first responders. Are the products safe? Absolutely. They're informed choice, which means they're tested for over 350 banned substances. And, as a state trooper, I was getting my legs shaved daily, numerous drug tests at the station. It happened all the time. And, never did I even, I was never even concerned about any of the drug tests because I knew the products were safe. Do the products work? Absolutely. Amazing products. But I'll tell you this, you got to get your nutrition in check, and also you got to add some physical exercise. Because if you don't do those things, that's the full triangle of fitness. And if you want great results, those are things that you need to do. And as far as the business goes, I mean, believe me, my first year, 2 years in the business, I was doing an investigation along with other law enforcement officers and firemen that I knew. And the only thing that I could find was that this business is a business of integrity. It's a business, if you work and you work hard, it can be anything you want it to be. I just want to let you guys know that if you guys ever have any questions, any concerns, product, business, please just reach out to myself or my wife, Liz. We're here. We're all part of the same team, and we're just here to help. So I hope you guys have a great Monday night. Be safe out there. And as I said, if there's anything you guys need, please reach out to us. All right, guys, be good.